Fully Loaded. The Fully Loaded Show. Welcome to the Fully Loaded Show with your hosts, JC Cornell and Max Cavalier.
Welcome back to Fully Loaded. It is week 6. With me, as usual today, JC Cornell and Samar Ali. Behind the scenes is Hank the Tank, and it's your host, Max Cavalieri. We have an awesome episode today. We've got a badass on the pod. We've got the one and only Devin White. Devin, thank you so much for hopping on today. Can't wait to get into it. JC, you want to kick us off?
Well, yeah, sure. Why not? I was let Devin intro himself, but I'm just going to start off pretty quick. Devin, I think to start this season, I think you're playing the best football of your career. I don't know if you agree with that or not. How do you feel about the season? How do you feel about the start of the season? How do you feel about the roster?
I'm gonna start off with talking about the roster. Coming in, I know a lot of people had a lot of, they lost this person, they don't have this, they don't have that. But I think the thing is, everybody here is just bought in. So even if you're the most talented person in your room or you're not, I think everybody know their role, know their spot, and know how we are using one another and how we play with one another. So I think that's the most important thing. Like, you don't have to be a team full of superstars to play good ball. You just got to be a team full of bought-in players to play good ball. And I think that's what everybody doing. Everybody on the defense know what's their specialty. Everybody on the offense knowing, what's their specialty and what they coming in the game to do. And I think that's what's keeping us in sync. And I think the number one thing, as far as roster, we wanted to play complementary football. Obviously we have a standard on the defensive side of the ball, but man, we just needed the offense to, hey, don't turn it over, score 20 points, we'll do the rest. And that's just been our motto ever since we hit the ground running. As far as I think you said myself, I think I'm playing some great ball. I just want to complement my game just far as just being an all-around off-ball linebacker. Obviously, I feel like I'm the best blitzing linebacker in the game. That's what I love to do. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of teams are starting to, I ain't going to say starting to, they 5-0 and they calling me the mic every play, no matter if Levontae's standing there or not. And that's freed up a lot of other people. You see other people are able to get to the quarterback as well because you key in on one person, obviously you're going to miss a count. Like even the first game, they mic'd me, didn't even look at Antoine when he got the sack. And I mean, that's just the way Coach Bowles is. Like it actually play into our strengths because at the end of the day, I'm going to get mine, when it comes to rushing the quarterback, just because I got a knack for doing it and, reading protections and stuff. And just obviously understanding zone coverages even better. It was always something that I never did. In high school, we didn't play zone. It was go get the ball. In college, played under Dave Aranda. I was always the blitzing linebacker holding the running back. So zone coverage wasn't my strong suit. But now I think it's becoming one of my best attributes because once you learn the route concepts and where you're supposed to be fully in the defense and, where your help is, I think it just takes you to that next level. Just watching other players play, I can generate off the 49ers. They play a lot of cover 3. So imagine if you playing that down in and down out, man, you're going to know it like a textbook. Whether with the Bucs, we play a bunch of everything. So I think just really just sitting down and honing in, where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do. And I think that's helped taking me to the next level as far as just on the field, just being just being more sound aware. I think that I can use those words, just being more sound on the field, being able to do more, being able to be put in a different situation, different positions, man. So one play you might see me running with a receiver in trap coverage, then you might see me playing quarters on the receiver at number 3. Then I could be playing man-to-man on the back, or I could be holding the tight end in a base defense. So I think that's the great thing about me, that you're able to use me in different packages. And I'm able to understand what's going on. So,
Devin. So obviously you just go for it, Sammer.
I was going to Devin. I've told Todd every time he's called a Devin White blitz, it has been a Devin White sack. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that. And I understand what he's doing, and I totally get it. So we will see more of that. But that kind of leads me to another question. You mentioned it. There's a lot of narrative and a lot of misconceived notion about this team heading into the season. One, because Tom Brady's gone. A lot of those guys that came with Tom Brady also gone. But they kind of, forgot the fact that Devin White, Levante David, Mike Evans, Carlton, all you guys learned how to win and are playing at a high level, regardless of Tom or not. And so heading into the season, you guys seem to have a chip on your shoulder. You guys seem to have not so much saved the paper, the news clippings, but you've used it as kind of a rallying cry. And I just want to know how much of this team chip on the shoulder mentality has kind of galvanized you guys and kind of bonded you guys as a brotherhood in that locker room, and how much of it is like something you guys have kind of generated fire from heading into the season now that you're 3-1.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a chip. I think the thing is that people don't understand. Tom Brady didn't just come to any team. He came to a talented team. And I think people forget that. Like, the guy probably could have went and played for any franchise that didn't just have a franchise quarterback, because obviously they weren't just going to let their franchise guy walk for 2 years, 3 years of Tom Brady. But he came to us and we was loaded. You look at the defense, we was loaded. You look at the offense, we was loaded. Tom Brady leave. Many players didn't leave. We still loaded on both sides of the ball, and we find ways to get it done. I think that's the best part about our team. We're not going to win the same way every week. But I think we being consistent with what we do. And we've been a little banged up early this season. That's kind of like, I was mad about the bye being early, but now I was happy because we haven't even played with our full team yet. Obviously, you had Carlton out there. He fought back just to play because he knew we was getting a bye week and we needed him. Then Dean go down. It's just so much going on. Our first rounder haven't even got active yet. And when I tell you that guy's a beast, Kalaja, and we haven't even played with him yet. So it's like we still trying to, I ain't say find our way, but we still trying to just keep pushing to how good we can be, but making sure we win these important games now, while we still trying to figure out, like, hey, this how we gonna get it done, and this how good we're gonna be. And eventually, a lot of people will wake up and realize, like, hey, they not playing, they are for real. And that's what we just want everybody in the building to know. Like, we know we're a good team, but obviously the media and everybody else, I mean, you got to show them more than you can tell them, man. And we cool with that. Like, we just want to take it 1 week at a time and just just win the matchup that day, and man, just keep rolling. Even with the Eagles game, man, we a lot of players went down. Hell, myself, I went down on the 17th play and still fought it out with a sprained foot. That's my attribute, is my speed, and I couldn't even push off my foot. And I know everybody was wondering why I ran out of bounds, man. But I haven't caught a pick in 2 years, and the first time I do, it was the perfect opportunity for a pick six, and I couldn't do nothing with it. And that's just the odds against us. But at the end of the day, man, we lost to a great team, a team that I really believe we will see again, because that's a team that you got to go through to make it to the NFC Championship, make it to the Super Bowl. And we a team that has high hopes because we talented, and not let alone talented. We got a great roster and we work hard. We work extremely hard, and our coaching staff does a great job of having us prepared.
So, Devin, what's your initial reaction to, Baker Mayfield being the quarterback, and how does he fit in this locker room?
To be honest, man, I didn't care who it was, if it was going to be Baker or Kyle. all I wanted was to take care of the ball, and I know that's cliche to say, but man, just give us the opportunity to win. A lot of people, man, you talk about let's like piggyback off the defense last year. We really weren't giving up over 17 points, and we was losing games. We played Aaron Rodgers. They scored 14 points on the first 2 drives, and they didn't score no more that game. We lose that game 13-14. So when we talk about quarterback play, man, we just got to find a way to score 20. That's always been my goal, but I definitely love the poise Baker playing with. And most importantly, I love how he land his body out on the line for his team. It ain't like, oh, I get another play, just slide, just do this. No, he's all out. He balls to the wall, and I really respect that about him, especially when you're at a new organization trying to win over the players. He got me won over. If that means anything to him, if he ever see this, because man, you landing out on the line. for us, and we're gonna do the same for you. And we know we can count on you in those tough situations.
He's a dog. You're a dog. It makes a ton of sense. You got to have that dog mentality. Like, I know that's the Eagles thing, but man, seeing Baker do that stuff and kind of, putting his shoulder down Minnesota week 1, telling that boy to get his weight up, like all of that shit, you see it from a fan perspective, and you're like, God, that's got to get the guys in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like going and jacked up and juiced. It's like when Mike Allstott used to run for the Bucs. You knew when that guy started running and pounding heads, it's like, okay, everybody on the sideline woke up, the defense woke up. But you touched a little bit about the 17 points. Like you said that in the offseason. Antoine said that in the offseason. And I'm just curious, like, where did that come from? Is that kind of a Todd Bowles type of challenge? Like, just let's hold him to 17 points. We win because you guys are 3-0 right now, holding to that 17 points. You guys have won every single time so far.
Nah, I mean, it came from the linebacker room. We got Coach Larry Foote. He played on some great Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and he always talked about, being the number one in every category. And obviously that's really, really hard to do. And his main thing was like, hey, be a 17 and below type of team, and you'll win a lot of ball games. So that's kind of been the message from me and Levante. Like, obviously you don't want nobody to score. And coming into this season, we knew the goal was 30 takeaways. I think we probably top 5 in takeaways in the NFL right now. And obviously, we was really, I ain't gonna say we was really, really bad, but we wasn't as strong in the red zone, and we put a bigger emphasis on it going into this season. And I can say we probably one of the best red zone defenses in the league right now. And everything that we really just broke ourselves down as a unit and said, hey, we got to get better, you can actually see us getting better at it. So I mean that's really big, and that goes to the people in being bought in as players and the coaches actually doing all the database and bringing us those things so we can really put it on our mental, like, hey, we got to get better in this, and not only just talking about it, but we go out there and do drills. We have plenty of red zone walkthroughs. Like, we always trying to find a way to be perfect down there, because we know if we don't allow a team to get 7 every time they enter the red zone, we got a higher chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So, Devin, I got a question for you. This week, you guys have Detroit. What's going to be some of the keys to victory this weekend?
For the defense, man, stop the run.
Yeah.
They savvy. They're a team that want to run the ball. We put a bad showing against the Eagles because obviously that wasn't our standard. 150 on the ground, that's never been us since I've been a Buccaneer. That's never been something we do. So we didn't take that lightly. We heard about it all week, how the Saints, that's their MO. They was going to run the ball down our throat. And if you was offense coordinator, you would too. Based off the previous outing we just had against the Eagles. Well, that was a motto, but obviously we had to, we had a say-so in that too. We weren't going to let that happen again. So, obviously, man, we just got to be ready to stop the run. I know Todd Bowles probably putting together some great packages and keys to victory, obviously, but I say that'll be the number one. And just to have that savvy mentality, man, that's a feisty team. We're a feisty team. They fighting to prove to the world that they are who they are playing like, because they playing great ball, and we just fighting to prove to ourselves that we one of them teams that's going to be around all year. So, I mean, I think it'll be a fun game. 2 savvy teams going at it. It'll definitely be a 4-quarter game.
Yeah, your defense versus that offense are one of the top offenses in the league right now. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
So Devin, all right, top 5 pick, 5th pick overall by the Bucs. Ran a 4.42 at the combine, probably one of the most electric linebacker performances in history. So you get drafted 5 overall. How much did Levante help you as a mentor just transitioning into the NFL?
I think he helped me tremendous. He helped me tremendously. But he didn't take a lot. He didn't take nothing off my plate, man. I still came in. I had to wear the mic day one. I got to call the huddle. I had to really get in front of grown men in this new environment and figure it out. He told me that, he just always prepped me up, let me know, like, hey, you built for it. This is why they brought you here. They brought you here to take over, for when I'm on my way out. He's always had positive mentality, kind of stuck to my mind just by the things he do. But just playing with a guy, like, I could have been playing with a guy who I had to line up. I had to help him line up, help him do this. But I'm playing with a guy, he just ball out all day, and you want to match his intensity. So I think that's been the number one important thing, and just a guy who's helped me around, far as taking care of my body and doing everything. Like, I haven't really been an injured guy since I've been in the NFL, and I've managed to stay on the field for 4 downs and play a lot of ball. So, man, he's been a tremendous help, and I always be thankful for getting drafted here just to play with a future Hall of Fame linebacker and just see what the everyday routine is like. And, man, just to see him work, I think we probably have some of the most intense practice because, I got it written on the board. Don't let 5-4 outwork you. And that's on every play, play in and play out. And, I mean, we go hard at practice. So I'm definitely grateful to be drafted here and play alongside Levante.
Devin, you speak about being a leader, and obviously you're an outspoken leader on this team, and the guys seem to follow you. They rally around you. And you show it on the field. It's not just talk, you back it up. And that's a massive point, obviously, in the locker room. When guys talk, you got to make sure you also back it up. And so you got another guy on this team that communicates and is also a leader. He's lined up behind you. He sees everything. He sees what you see and more. A guy in Antoine, who's an absolute beast back there. And he's barely scratching the surface. We're looking at, I think, in my opinion, the best safety in the league right now. And that's only his 3rd year in the league. Speak a little bit about what you see from Antoine on a day-to-day, what you see from him on game day, and what he brings to your guys' defense that makes you guys so special and different, because he's such a dynamic safety. He's almost a game breaker, which is not something that you see nowadays from a safety position. Game breakers are usually guys that are rushing the passer consistently right at the line, the front 7 guys. This guy's in the back, and he's making plays that change games week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, Antoine, man, that's one of my closest friends on the team. He year 4, I'm year 5. We kick it off. We was actually here working out together over the bye week and just, man, telling each other we know we got big things a lot ahead of us, and we know we the ones that make this team go. But man, he's the ultimate pro. When you say Antoine Winfield, you think of ultimate pro, just a humble guy. Obviously having his father going through the NFL. Him always seeing the work ethic that his father put in, and always kind of being in a pro household, he already was equipped to being an NFL player. Like, I think it was destined for him, and I think he's doing everything that he should. He playing his best ball right now. I think his thing is, as long as I stay away from injuries, I can go out and be a beast. And me and him talk about that every day. We even compete as well at practice. Every time we run out the field, we make sure we go to the opposite field and touch the line, and then go sit down and watch the rest of the practice. We just got that mentality, man. Like, you gotta be a dog. You gotta take that extra step. And I think that's some of the things that he brings to this team. And obviously from watching film, he's always in the building. He meets with Bowles a lot extra. So the plays he making, they not by surprise. He put the work in for it. Just even his warm-up routine, if anybody was able to watch him warm up, he go out there, no shoes. He put his sunglasses on. He go through a whole routine by himself, and he get himself ready to play. So, man, from the smallest things to the biggest thing, he do it the right way, and I think he's just reaping everything that he put in.
So, Devin, I know this hasn't been announced yet, but in my eyes, you, Antoine, and Levante, in my eyes, should be wearing captain patches this year.
Yeah, I think the captain patches come out tomorrow. I don't know why Coach. Yeah, I don't know why Coach Bowles did it this way, but I mean, he wanted to wait for a minute. Obviously it's a players thing. The players vote on it, and I'm pretty sure he have a lot of say so in it. And I think we always did 6 captains. I want to say 3 on
each side and the special teamers, right?
Okay, so we always did 7. Man, sometimes I feel like we could squeeze 4 in on the defense because, I mean, Vita, he makes everything go up front. Even though he's not that vocal, but he's a guy he's an ultimate leader. And obviously me and Levante, we've been leaders since I've been on this team. We always had the captain pass, but I definitely can see Antoine with one. And I'm actually making him be even more vocal because I'm making him break down huddles. Like, I made him do the Saints game. Yes. And even at practice,
we saw that.
I'm always pushing him in there like, hey, you got it. Because I know people are listening to him and I know people are follow him. And obviously I don't want to be the only voice on the team because we know Levante ain't going to say nothing. That ain't his point. You know what I'm saying? Vita, he don't really talk too much. And so it's, besides me, I think Antoine, the other guy who can get everybody attention and get them going.
It's a little tough too because you got a guy like Shaq who's gone through some emotional off season, and so I feel like he almost kind of deserves a captain's patch because you guys are all going to rally around him. We saw how emotional you guys got when he got that pick six. Massive moment in the game, massive moment in the season, and coming in so early in the season too. But Todd told us on the other show I host, the Loose Cannons, that he had you guys wait to vote because he wanted all the newcomers to not pick guys just because of their names. They wanted to pick them based on their work ethic. So they wanted to see Mike Evans do Mike Evans things before they just gave Mike, not to say Mike Evans doesn't deserve the patch, because obviously he does. You see that guy, he's a dog. Go ahead, JC.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, as far as your pregame speeches and like rallying the troops and everything, when did that kind of start in your life? Did you do that in high school? Did you do that in Pee Wee football? Like, when did that start for you, just being a vocal leader?
Yeah, I think that's always been me. I always been like the best player on the field, the best. And guys tend to rally around guys who not only the best, but putting it out there, every game. So I think that's just been me. And then obviously, like, I'm the guy like, hey, let's go ride bikes today. Everybody like, all right, we riding bikes today. So, and I always put us in good situations too. I wasn't just no guy who, hey, go follow him. We finna go get into some trouble. No, I was always a guy who was doing the right thing. So, I mean, I think it's just come natural to me. I think the most important thing is knowing what to say, knowing what type of game you're going into, and the type of things you need to say. And man, when you know it's going to be a slug game, like a game like this, you got to kind of get everybody a little more up tempo. Sometimes that you can kind of calm down. Some games you'll see me pull the helmet off and I'm screaming. I'm pushing. I always go to Tristan because he a big guy and he can handle it. I always go to him and like push him in the chest and he'll slap me on the helmet. Like, it's just some games you gotta say certain things and you gotta do certain things to let the other people know, like, hey, it's gonna be one of these type of games. So I mean, I think that's the hardest part, is not even getting in the middle saying nothing. It's about what you say and how you deliver.
Devin, you're firing me up. I feel like I want to put on pads and a helmet and run out there with you right now.
You're basically responsible for what Antoine did in New Orleans, because you pushed him to go in that huddle, and then he has a ridiculously
he has
a game.
It make you
he
play
had
better
a
too.
Game. Go ahead, man.
Because you like, man, you get so fired up talking about it. So it's like, man, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. I done said this. I'm ready. Like, it's just like if you finna get into a fight and you just cut somebody out, like, F you, like, you gotta go. You gotta go do that. Like,
you gotta go.
You just psych yourself up. I think it do something mentally to you to where you gotta stand on it. Like, I call it like standing on it, standing on what you said, standing on business. Like, so if I go out there and tell somebody I'm finna F them up, like, hey, I think I'm in my mind, I already won half the battle, because in my mind, I already said I'm finna do it. So I think that's a good thing about standing.
I'm just glad you haven't ate any W's out there to
Nah, we ain't doing nothing corny like that. I feel like that. I know J-Bo, like, he's a funny guy, and I mean, it's hilarious, but nah, that ain't our style. We don't do that over there.
Hey, beating the Saints in New Orleans, that's my style.
We lock the gates and give you 60 minutes of hell. That's what we do.
I like that.
We give you 60 minutes of hell.
What's the toughest environment you've had to play in? Like, adding on to that, when you say you're going into a certain week, certain game, what road environment has just been, one of the toughest to play in?
The Saints, always. When the game first started, you can't hear nothing. I told Kalaja, I was like, man, this is the game you're gonna wish you could have played in, because we play them twice, but you ain't gonna hear no atmosphere like the Dome. But man, it's an even better experience when the Dome get quiet in the third quarter. Everybody walking out. Yeah, so that's even better. Then obviously I like playing on the road. It just feel good, being a defense and shutting their fans up. So I think that's real important for me. But obviously you play anywhere.
I mean, it's been nice to go on the road this season and get away in victory formation, right? Not have to close it out yourselves. Just kind of sit back, watch Baker and the boys take a few knees and take it on back to the buses and get on the flight and go home, right? You touched on Todd Bowles and the preparation and the coaching, and it's, no hidden secret that you and Todd Bowles are very, very close. You guys have a very good, almost like family, and probably our family at this point. So I got to ask you, how important is it to you to be able to play for a guy that you're that close to and so connected with, and you're able to just kind of walk into his office? He's been teaching you that way from day one when he was the defensive coordinator, and now he's your head coach. And how important is that for you to have as a relationship between you and your head coach, not just this year, but possibly in the future?
Yeah, I think it's very important, man. Just having that family-like atmosphere, that's always been the Bucs thing since I've been here. trickle down to Coach Arians. Everybody on our staff, besides kind of now, we kind of got away from it a little bit, is related in some way. You know, my linebacker coach played for Bowles. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was in Arizona. The DB coach in Bowles was teammates. Like every Coach Rapone, Coach Bowles. Like everything is a family atmosphere. And I think when you got a family type of atmosphere, we know it's a business, but it makes coming to work a little more, just a little better. Because you like, man, I'm going up there, I'm having fun, I'm getting better. And like it's genuine. I think that's the number one word I was looking for. Everything with Coach Bowles is genuine. Man, we meet on Saturdays before games. And one of the games, my son, I had him and we was just kicking it. My son, 3, he didn't want to go with my mom while I went back to work for the night meetings to watch film. And I text Coach Bowles, like, hey, got my son with me. How you feel? You know, can I bring him up there? He was like, how old is he? I was like, 3. He was like, yeah, bring him through. You know, but I wasn't scared to ask my head coach, could I bring my son? And it's all business because if he said no, I would have understood. But just to show you like what type of guy I'm playing for, that let alone shows you like, yeah, bring your son, man. We love to have him. We're gonna love on him just as much as we love on you. You know, as long as he come in and sit down and while we going over film, because you know, at the end of the day, we still got business in him. Like we was doing our final prep before the game. And man, that just to show you what type of guy I play for, man. And I love playing for him, and I hope I can finish my career with him.
How does run to the Astros next time?
Next question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Devin. So obviously you're in a contract year, you're playing a hell of a season so far. As far as Tampa Bay, is this somewhere you want to be long term, or are you gonna let it play out in the market?
I always wanted to be in Tampa Bay long term. I felt like I'm their guy. I always felt like I was their guy. You know, it don't get no better from Derrick Brooks, Hall of Famer, Levante David, future Hall of Famer, Devin White taking over to be hopefully a future Hall of Famer. You know, that's always the end result since I came into the league. But obviously, I got a lot of ball to play. But man, I love it here, man. I got the most perfect situation here as far as I have a house here. My mom have a house here. I got land here. I got horses here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I'm not a big city guy. And Tampa is by any means not a big city, but it is still city like where I could go out and go to a nice dinner. We got nice places. You know what I'm saying? You don't like but it's not Miami and it's not New York, but it's still like it gives you the best of both worlds. So I love everything about Tampa. But as far as just contract talk, man, hopefully they lock me in as being a long-term guy. If they don't, I understand the business and it won't be no personal emotions, feelings involved. You know, I just got to go be that guy for the next team. But at the end of the day, I know what's best for Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay know what's best for Tampa Bay. But we'll get to that when we get there. You know, like I told them, I'd rather just focus on the season and helping us do what we're going to do because I feel like I know I'll be a major impact on the success that we have this year because, man, like I tell everybody, man, I drive the bus from the middle. You know, I make this thing go. You know, me and Levante, I always say we drive the bus from the middle because obviously you got your D-line, you got your DBs in the back, and, this thing go as far as me and Levante make it go. And I really believe that, and I really stand on that, man, just being the quarterback of the defense and, man, just playing good ball, just being consistent. I end up putting that in my Twitter bio, just consistency. I think that's the thing that I want to do, and I've been taking different steps, becoming an even better pro as far as my preparation and what I do before games, throughout the week of the season, and I'm really seeing it. I'm really seeing it pay off, and I'm really proud of myself. And I'm just trying to stay on a straight path.
Yeah, Devin, I'm not saying this just because you're on the show today, man, but we said it after week 1. We said Devin White set the tone for this defense in Minnesota the very first drive that these guys were on the field.
I mean, just the way you slam people on the ground, man.
I want to tackle everything.
It's
you were trying to kill
violent tackles from Devin White.
Devin White was trying to kill people on the field. It was crazy. And not like illegal. You were just out there. And it was like, he set the tone, not only for that game. Yeah, the entire season on defense, you have set that tone. And what happened to you guys against the Eagles is not indicative of what you guys are. I 100% believe that. And sometimes you do got to get punched in the mouth a little bit to learn, all right, I got to get my level up here. And it got you guys ready to go to New Orleans and beat the hell out of that team that we all freaking hate. I can feel that you hate them too, because I know you're from Louisiana, but man, nobody likes the Saints when you're down here in Tampa Bay. So I appreciate you setting that tone week 1 because it was obvious. And I looked at my guys, I go, Devin White's about to have himself a season here. He just started.
That's my motto going out, man. Like even the games, man, we played the Bears, and I think I had 3 tackles. But I was very frustrated, man. I just felt like I supposed to light the stat line up every week because that's the caliber player I am. And I went and watched film with Coach Foote, and man, you could just see it every time the ball's thrown. I'm trying to get there, and somebody might just make it before me. And the Bears, they weren't running the ball a whole lot, so I really couldn't make a bunch of tackles in the run game because it wasn't a bunch of run game, and we was going 3 and out a lot. So imagine when a team going 3 and out a lot, it ain't that many plays being made when some of the plays are incomplete passes and stuff. But that's why I said me knowing this year, me playing great ball is going to be beyond the stats. It's going to be watch the game, watch your effort. Was you in the right place? Did you do the right thing? And little stuff like that. And I'm starting to understand that now. Like being a great linebacker is more than having 15 tackles, because 10 of those tackles can come 10 yards down the field, and that's not doing the defense any justice. So me just understanding the overall view of things, I'm starting to just become more dialed in, more complete. And actually glad that I'm doing the things I'm doing, and really told my coach to be even harder on me and watching more film just to critique even little stuff, because he know, man, I want to make every play I feel like I can. It ain't no reason I shouldn't. If I'm healthy, I should be able to go make every play. But man, but playing with inside the defense,
So Devin, I got a kind of fun question for you. So you were a pretty successful running back, am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Weren't you recruited as a running back as well?
Yeah,
so from different have you ever asked Bowles if you could get some goal line touches?
Man, I swear, when Tom was here and everybody went down against the Bears, I actually practiced at running back as well that week.
I remember that.
I actually practiced at running back when I think Leonard was hurt, Rojo was hurt, somebody was sick. I think we only had like one back, and I was like one player away from going in, but it didn't happen. But I really don't focus on it now, man. I always just tell myself, go get a forced fumble, go get a pick, and then you can show them.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So are you a better running back than Vita Vea? Because Vita Vea has some highlights. I don't know if you ever seen his highlights.
Definitely. Yes, I have. Definitely better. Ran for way more yards than him in high school. Way more dynamic with the ball in my hand.
But I was going to ask, are we going to get a Vita Vea, Devin White, race? Are we going to get a 40-yard dash between you guys?
Man, the 4.42 versus the 5.01.
Yeah, Vita's scared of me.
He's scared of you. Hey,
everybody's scared of me when it comes to speed, man.
How exciting was it when you guys saw him last year dropping the coverage and destroy Aaron Jones, cause a fumble on the goal line? I mean, you don't see guys do that at his size, and you got Todd Bowles up there scheming up number 50, dropping into coverage, and he does it a couple times. And the other thing too is, how exciting is it when you guys see him 15 yards down the field tackling Michael Thomas, on a post route, and you're like, this guy's what? How's that even happening?
It just show you what type of guy he is, man. He's a fun guy to be around, man. But his athletic ability allows us to do things within our defense. Because I mean, what defensive coordinator would want to drop Vita Vea? But we even have some defenses where we play read coverage, and he responsible for the back. If you go watch the play, Greg, they tried to run like a quick flash screen to Kamara, and Greg tackled him probably for a 3-yard gain. That we was in read coverage, and you see the nose got the back. But that's why we go out and get the type of players that we get, just so they can play within this defense. But obviously, Vita's a very unselfish guy. I will say that. Besides a couple times in that Saints game, he was letting them linemen come up to us, but we corrected him pretty quickly on that. But other than that, man, he's a very unselfish guy on the team.
Next time you run into him in the cafeteria, ask him about mayo on pizza, and then
mayo
get ready for something. Get ready for something very, very disgusting story to come out of it, man. Just let you know.
I'll ask him tomorrow when we get to work.
So, Devin, your last game against the Saints, you faced Derek Carr. I'm pretty sure one of the biggest hits of your entire career was against Derek Carr in that Raiders game. Do you think about that all before the game, or even what was your favorite hit on any player in the NFL?
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite hit on him. And I think it was probably the hardest I ever hit somebody, because he flew through the sideline. I flew through the sideline as well, but I think it was more impressive because he flew right under Gruden's foot. And I remember just going through the draft process and my agent telling me like I was possibly a lock for 4. And
that's
then
right. The Oakland passed on you. So yeah,
they passed on me. Yeah, they passed.
Could have taken out Gruden's ACL there.
Yeah, so I was like real happy. I got up screaming at him like, yeah, like I wasn't even saying no, but I was just letting him know like, hey, this the player that, could have been with you, on your team. But I mean, it worked out perfectly fine for me. I'm happy at 5. Obviously you want to go 4 because you want to go high, just to, just make history. Just like, hey, I was the number 4 player drafted. But obviously I came to a better situation because we have stability over here. Obviously won a Super Bowl over here, got to play with the greatest quarterback ever, over here. So I'm definitely happy that I came from. But definitely playing Derek Carr, man, I just figured he's a guy who likes to make plays. So I figured I was going to be able to get him down a little bit this game. Because when we played the Raiders, I had 3 sacks. That was one of my 3 sack games. Obviously I didn't blitz him a lot because we was running blitzes where it could be me or Levante. And just so happened the way the formation was set up, it was always Levante. Besides one play, and I came free, and we was in trap coverage, and I actually chased him out the backfield, and he threw it to number 7, Taysom, and Shaq made the tackle. But if we had a little tighter coverage, I probably would have had me one. But other than that, man, I got to see him again in this division, and he can't run from me.
No, I was gonna say the guy that the Raiders ended up drafting that season, he didn't even make it to his 4th year in the league on that team. He ended up getting cut.
Clee. It was Clee, man. Clee was a phenomenal college player. Don't know what happened with him in that organization. Could have been the organization thing. I know he was San Fran now, but the crazy thing about it that they drafted him, and I probably have more career sacks than him, and he an edge rusher.
He's an edge rusher, exactly. Yeah. We're talking a little bit about these younger guys in the draft. And I was going to say, you guys got younger on this team in the offseason, man. You got Yaya Diaby. You guys got Servassier, as we call him. Like, you guys brought in some other dogs on this team. And obviously we have JTS, but I wanted to get your take on Yaya. I call Yaya an alien because there's no way a human should be that big, that fast, that strong, and that, like, everything about him. He looks like an absolute alien. We call him Sub-Zero. Like, what are your thoughts when you see him first off walk in training camp, and then you see him actually put in work and start making plays in camp?
Yeah, my thought, I'm like, who is this big old dude wearing 0? Like, what? Because I'm still like not a fan of the 0 thing. Like, who wants to wear 0? Like, that means nothing. Like 0, like what? Like, I know number 1, you the best or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, he cool. He's an extremely hard worker. I think that's the number 1 thing I should say about him. And a lot of people don't know he got a crazy story. Because, man, I was like asking him how old he was and stuff, and he was like, man, I was working at the guy was working at a airport, pushing people through the airport. So that's kind of how he got into the NFL. Like, because I'm 25, I want to say he's 24, 23 as a rookie. But his story is kind of crazy because he had a late start. But, man, to see what he was doing, what he come from, man, you only can respect it and you understand why he worked so hard. Just because, man, he don't want to go back to where he was, and I really respect it. And I like having guys like that on the team because they're going to give you everything they got. I know I ran past a tackle in the Bears game. Running back had a shifty running back juke past me. I was going to break down, make a tackle. He juke past me. Yaya come from blitzing and just kill him. And it's just those are the type of players that we got, players that want to make plays, want to get to the ball.
Devin, what are your thoughts on Christian Izzy and what he's doing as an undrafted free agent?
Couldn't believe he was undrafted. Obviously, I didn't really keep up with the draft process, but when I got there, we was practicing. I was like, yeah, man, what round we took you in? He was like, shoot, I was undrafted because he was running with the ones. And I'm like, dang, bro, you a baller. He was like, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm just trying to work hard. Like, that's, just real humble mindset. But, man, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm glad we got him. Coach Bowles did his homework on him, knew a lot about him. Because, man, you got to be very smart to come play in Coach Bowles' defense because it requires a lot. You all over with different coverages, 1, 2 quarters. Man, we play cover 6 a lot. Like, we do a lot. So we blitz our nickels a lot too. So therefore, you gotta know a lot, man. You gotta know a lot. So, man, that just lets you know everything you need to know about him. And I always tell him, like, we got to get you in more contentions for to be talked about for Defensive Rookie of the Year because you balling. And you got a greater story. You weren't the one that they thought that'd be one of the ones being talked about. And he's one. He's one of those ones. He's not giving up a lot in pass coverage. He's coming in the box making tackles. That's his greatest attribute. He's small, but he's getting in there and making tackles. And I love it. I love it. I love it.
So Devin, Micah Parsons is talked about as being, the best defender in the NFL. You know, he was drafted as the inside linebacker, similar to yourself, and then the Cowboys kind of swapped him over on the edge. Do you have any doubt in your mind that you could play his role successfully?
Yes, just allow me to line up and just rush the passer and just get more comfortable, better at moves because you got the speed. I got the speed. I got the power. I got all the attributes
You
that
got
he had.
longer arms than Parsons too.
So I got all the attributes that Micah got, and that's bro. I definitely play that position extremely well. He's doing a great job at it. I told him I would never get off the ball if I was you, because you're so good at rushing the passer. And man, I think I'd be just as dominant. I told Shaq that. I said we switch positions for 6 weeks. I promise you that I'll tear this league up. Because I mean, you could just because every pass play, you really don't have a responsibility to go get the quarterback. You know,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
it's kind of different. And you kind of you get a running start, like you in a better stance. Like it's easier to rush from their stance than my stance, like a 2-point stance, feet right under me than what they do when they kind of one leg back, kind of in a track stance. You get a faster burst, faster push off and everything. But at the end of the day, I like the role that I have. I like being able to do everything, sacks, tackles, interceptions, and everything, rather than having at 15 sacks, 40 tackles. I'd rather have 100 and some tackles and 5, 6 sacks and a couple picks. So
I had to ask you because I tweeted it multiple times, and
yeah.
You're a dominant athlete. There's no question you'd be able to do that.
Yeah, just awesome. About out physically the guy in front of you, basically. But you have a lot of more, like you said, you have a lot more responsibility where you guys stand. You could be on your heels. You got to also wait for play action to take place. There's all those eye candy, motion that now everyone's using, like Miami and shit. So my kind of leads into the next question. You guys have been practicing in training camp for years now against BA's offense, whether Byron's calling it or BA's working with him, whatever it was. But now you got a guy like Dave Canales, who's a spark plug, just an absolute, just monster when it comes to energy on the sideline. And in this year's training camp, he's calling it like he's calling games so he could get himself, acclimated to it. How important was it for you guys to go against something completely different in camp to kind of help you guys develop your defense, and also kind of seeing something from a guy like Canales who's trying to challenge you, and you're seeing something different every single day? And how's that been? And I know he likes to talk trash, so I know there's something going on. How much fun was it going against Dave in camp and kind of leading you guys into this season?
I think it was real good going against him because he's kind of doing what a lot of the offense in the league is doing with the glances and heavy on the play action. I think that was great for our defense to see. Like if anybody go watch film on us these first games, we don't really bite hard on the play action because we've seen it all count. It was take 2 run steps, get your feet in the ground, go find the over route. Like we've been doing it so much that it's like second nature. So I'm actually glad that he's not just a line up and run this, stand here. He got a lot of, motions for them to identify the coverage and, a lot of tails and even hitting us with glances. Levante could have had 2 picks against the Vikings if he was just like a little bit late on seeing those glances to Justin Jefferson behind him. But he was in that mode to like he knew it was coming, just had to be a step faster. But I think that all comes from training camp going against his offense because he's doing similar things to a lot of people. And like they was running the wrap concept where you got your one receiver wrap post up and another one wrap behind. Hopefully you take the cheese, they throw it behind you. We were seeing that from them, and we're seeing it in the league. Everybody's running it now. So I think that's the good thing is that nothing that we've been seeing lately is new to us.
So, Devin, I can't have you on my podcast without asking how your horses are doing. And another thing, how cool was it to ride your horse in Ray J after winning the Super Bowl?
My horse is doing extremely well. I got horses in Louisiana with my buddies, X and Ford, all them back home. I got horses in training with my guy Adam in Louisiana. My guy Cody Cheers in Mississippi, Walnut, Mississippi, and Jacob Parks in Hickory Valley with Tennessee. And I probably got 9 or 10 horses out here in Odessa with me as well. So, man, my horse is doing good. Extremely proud of owning. I think I'm a horse owner of 36 now.
Oh, wow.
When I got into the NFL, I had maybe 2 or 3. Now, 5 years in, I got 36. I run a breeding program. I breed horses for myself. I breed them to sell to the public. I train them up from babies, raise them from babies, and just riding in Ray J, that was like a fulfilling moment. That was something I said I wanted to do if we ever won the Super Bowl. And I mean, just to talk about it and for it to come to life, I think it's no better feeling. And it's something I never take for granted. I actually need to blow that picture up and get it put in my barn, just to, walk in and look like, man, you're a champion in the horse world and you're a champion on the field. And man, all the things I've been through in life, I never like shied away from like what makes me happy, and that's being able to ride horses, because man, just give me a sense of peace.
Devin, I'm an Arab, right? We take our horses serious, bro. Like, it's a
Yeah.
real deal for us, especially overseas in Dubai. So I got to ask you, like, after the NFL career is over, is that something that you're looking towards, like getting your horses at the Kentucky Derby and kind of going on the road and turning that whole, going into that whole world of things with the horses? Or is this going to still kind of be something that you keep to yourself as kind of a hobby and not so much on that side of things? You're a competitive guy, so I feel like I can see Devin White at Kentucky Derby in the winner's circle, with the wreath and the whole deal.
So the type of horses I ride are called standardbreds, and we have our own Kentucky Derby. Like, it's way less of money involved. Like, we just go out there to compete for respect. And then you also can put those standardbreds on the track for money, for buggy races, pacing, trotting. And I do that as well. And I have been very successful in that and just doing the pleasure stuff, man. I genuinely enjoy the pleasure stuff because it's kind of low key. Everybody that's doing it is basically doing it because that's what they love. And remember, before we jumped on, I had just did some new headsets, like, bridles, and I was downstairs putting them together because you got to put the straps together and stuff. So I was down there doing that, and I'm not even finna use them until after the season, but I had ordered some stuff and got it in. I was like a kid in the candy store, excited to put it together, and that's what I was down there doing. But I'm going to just stay to the fall brawl. All these speed racking shows, Big Guns, Thunder on the Mountain. They got a bunch of shows in Texas and Mississippi that I attend, and just going out there to socialize with great people, compete to win trophies and ribbons, and man, just really just kind of go on back to the house because my son love it. My little brother, he's 10, he's getting into the horses, so I think that'll be just an odd thing.
No, that's definitely cool, man. That's definitely
so
cool.
Devin,
like
as a huge sneakerhead and a Jordan fan, how cool was that to sign a deal to be part of the Jordan family?
Yeah, I mean, it was something I should have did from day one coming out. When I came out, I wanted to go with Jordan. My buddy Jamal Adams went with Jordan. So I kind of was like, I already kind of plugged in to go with Jordan. And Nike came along, Adidas, everybody. I didn't show nobody no interest but Jordan and Adidas and Nike. And Nike offered a way bigger contract than what Jordan offered. And I took the money like I wasn't finna go top 5 and make a lot of money, rather than taking the quality over the quantity of money. I should have took the quality of it only can be like 18 Jordan brand athletes, and you get catered to. You design your own cleat. You get every Jordan release that come out 2 months ahead.
That's
You get them sent to the crib. I don't even shop. I wear straight Jordan clothes, Jordan socks, Jordan flip-flops. Like if I'm wearing slides.
That's like my dream. That's my dream.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm wearing slides that'll never come out in the
store.
That's crazy.
See, that's not right. Why you gotta do that, man? Why you gotta do that?
So man, I think it was the best thing. And it also made me, being a Jordan athlete just make you feel better. When you're on the field, you're off the field.
Better.
When you putting your cleats in your locker, it's like, do I want to wear some Jordan 7, Jordan 5?
Around fresh out there.
Man. So I don't know. It was a humbling experience, because if I could do it over again, money's not involved when it's you doing something that make you happy. And being a Jordan brand member, obviously they take you on trips. They went to Jordan brand went to where did they go? Went overseas this year.
Go to China, Tokyo.
Nah, it wasn't. It was Puerto Rico. They went to Puerto Rico this year. Carmelo Anthony was there, kind of honoring him. Michael Jordan always come out himself. It's a humbling experience. I'm so thankful to be a Jordan brand athlete, and they take care of their guys. And once you in for life. So I really, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Speaking of shoes and all that, it's kind of a good question. Now that Mike Edwards is no longer on this team, which one of you guys has the most drip now? Like, which one of you guys look the swaggiest on the field, on game day, and then all throughout the week?
They always say I'm always the most swaggiest, but I'm cheating because I'm sponsored by Jordan. But I definitely had to give it to myself. Definitely going definitely gonna have the most drip on the team just for us. Just being a Jordan brand athlete, man. I got the best cleats on, and whatnot. But I think the person that come behind me would probably have to be Sneak. You know, he do a lot of custom shoes, and man, I think he got a nice set, and Rashard. So both of the running backs, they probably use the same people. Out of those two probably second behind me. Now that Mike gone, because Mike, he gonna wear some Jordan. I watch him with KC all the time. He been wearing a lot of Jordan 11s this year, and that's my guy though.
Hey, that iconic last throw from Drew Brees pick on the sidelines, toe drag swag with those J's was unreal, bro. Unreal. Like, we're never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
So, Devin, we're obviously going to be rooting for you for the rest of this season. We'd love to have you back on as a guest in a couple weeks or at the end of the season or whatnot. Dude, we're rooting for you. I really do believe you're going to get that 9-figure contract. So we want you in Tampa Bay long term. You're one of my favorite players on the team, man.
Yeah, Devin, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's always a blessing to come out and share some knowledge, man. You know, just tell the world, give our defense more credit. We always took the back seat to Tom Brady, and it's like they trying to do the same thing with Bake, but tell Bake to keep baking, but Bake, he knows what's up.
He's on a make or bake season. That's what we keep saying, man.
Hey, we love it, man. He's a great player, man. I love playing with him.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Devin, you're the man. You got 3 big supporters over here. Happy week 6. Good luck. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, Twitter, Bucks Fully Loaded. This is Max Cavalieri. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday.